Good morning, friends. Welcome to Go Long, a show that focuses on local sports and faith, includes thought-provoking interviews with area coaches, players, and sports figures, unashamed Bible discussion, and the popular and entertaining WOYK scoreboard. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B.
Good morning.
Doggy Dog Becky B. Good morning. What a beautiful morning it is. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for being with us, because we've got a dandy with us this morning. Right out of the gate, Coach John Livelsberger from the Bermudian Springs Eagles. Gosh, those Eagles, York Adams League Division III champs, also District 3, 3A champions. What a great season. We'll talk to Coach Livelsberger in just a couple of seconds. Also with us, the splendid Spartan himself, Scott Geis, with the York College Winter Sports Preview, and the Lone Catholics head coach, Corey Zortman. All that and more here on Go Long, my friends, as Paul addressed believers in Rome and explained his mission in the book of Romans. For I'm not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. Today, our Go Long topic: what does the Bible say about how we treat others? Throughout the weekend during today's show, please text your prayer request to Becky B and myself at 717-350-8591. Alrighty then, you know it's red hot, it's Ed Hot, it's downtown Ollie Brown. Grab the mustard, because this is the Grand Salami of faith-based sports radio shows, brought to you by Sports Radio 98.9 FM, 1350 WOYK, first in York and first in sports, and our friend Kelsey Jean at Red Barn Home Decors, where home staging makes dollars and cents. You wanted it, you asked for it, you're going to get it. This is the WOYK scoreboard. Let's kick it off with state playoff football action and the Bermudian Springs Eagles. Coach John Livelsberger and the Bermudians captured the York Adams Division III marbles, and then, just in case that wasn't good enough, Bermudian went on to pocket the District 3 Class 3A gold medal. And now, these Bermudian Spring Eagles matched up with the Danville Ironmen yesterday afternoon in the state quarterfinals.
In a game played at Susquehanna High School in Duncannon, the Bermudian Springs Eagles fall to the Danville Ironmen by a score of 27-7, as Danville remains in an unblemished 13-0 for their season. Don't think for a hot second that Bermudian didn't battle, as the score at that half was 13-7 Danville.
For Bermudian junior quarterback Lane Hubbard, proving the cupboard was not bare, punched one in from 1 yard out in the second quarter. And just as it was all season long, the Bermudian defense was good. They stood strong. They forced 3 turnovers throughout the game.
So congratulations to Coach Livelsberger and the Bermudian Springs Eagles team, and especially their 12 seniors, for a tremendously successful season.
Coach Livelsberger, welcome to Go Long.
Thank you.
Coach, first of all, tremendous season. I mean, it's just, football is one of those things, high school sports, you end up with a loss, but what a great season. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really excited and proud of the effort that our boys put in this year. You had mentioned the senior group. They were a large part of our success over the last couple of years. We knew coming into the season with that group that they'd really show out, and we're excited to see them have the success that they did.
Coach, I'm just going to back up a week. That win over Trinity, must 34-30 win. I called it a pick'em game, and just because I knew how physical Trinity was, what a great win, right?
It was awesome. There were 2 points in that game where we went down by 10 points, and even at halftime, you could see that our boys were not as optimistic, a little down. But the best part is they stayed resilient, and we had a couple players make some really exciting, captivating plays, kind of get us back into it. And once again, the defense showed up at the end and bailed us out big time.
Now, you talked about having, a strong senior squad here and having that kind of leadership. How did that kind of experience help you in your playoff run?
So a lot of our boys from their freshman year through now have gotten a lot of time over the last 3 years. And so the experience was there. And with an experienced group like that, they have to do a lot less thinking on the field, and they can just be the athlete that they can be. And that was evident from our defensive effort, from the different schemes that we run. Like, our kids were just able to play and be in the right position based off the scheme.
Well, let's talk about a few of these seniors. How about senior quarterback Dylan Hubbard, always going to the cupboard, finding his not bare. What a leader he was, right?
So Dylan is the older brother of Lane. Lane's a junior, our quarterback, but Dylan
Right.
Dylan was his top target this year for sure.
Yeah. All right, well, and how about Eddie Seabright? He'd pick up his saw and he would find ways to get open. Just incredible running back.
Absolutely. If I always joke around with Eddie, I said I'm going to put a picture of him up from his freshman year. He finished his freshman season at 113 pounds and was determined to turn himself into the player he's become. I can't speak enough to his hard work, his dedication. I'm hopeful he gets the opportunity to play football at the next level, which is what his goal has been.
And you talk about a guy who just puts in his hard hat every day. This guy might be as tough a football player as I've had a chance to see. Jack Gosh, I mean, he can beat you running. He can receive the football. He's a defensive player. The dude actually, I mean, he's a football player, right?
Yes. Jack's a great leader too. It's incredible what he's done for us. Last year, he wasn't sure about filling in it or trying out for our wing back, but we really felt with his athleticism, we wanted to give him the most opportunity with the ball that we could, and we can do that from him in a wing position. So Jack, statistically, as a receiver and running back, has been an incredible player for us.
Well, Coach, you have a whole bunch of Division All-Stars, too. Can you give us a little rundown on Braden Heller, please?
Yeah, so Braden, we had two pretty critical injuries this year with Niall Lewin, Preston, or Carter Storm. So Braden's kind of always been that backup in line, and then when Niall went down, Braden has really stepped up and just kind of fallen into that role. A lot of speed, a lot of plays hard downfield. We're excited to have him back again next year, and he's gotten with the injury, he got a ton of experience that he might not have this year.
Well, actually, Niall and Carter were two of the other that were the Division All-Stars. Give us a little rundown on them, too, please.
Yeah, so Carter Storm just is your typical, hard-nosed football kid. He loves to hit, has an edge to him, can get off the ball for us at the D-line, really likes to get after the quarterback. Even with missing some time this season, at midpoint, it was supposed to be that he was done for the year, but he went to PT, dedicated himself, and we were so lucky in the postseason to have him present and be able to play defense for us. And same with Niall, too, to battle back through injury week to week. He's rehabbing week to week. It hurts, but, just both those boys just work so hard to persevere and just give the team as much as they could, because that's how much they care for each other.
All right, and let's finish up with Luke Goldham, please.
Yep, Luke Goldham is one of our solid linemen on both sides of the ball. Luke's got a quiet leadership about him that you're not going to hear him much, but when you're looking for inspiration on the field, he's always given 100%. And offensively, he's probably one of the better linemen we've had offensively for quite some time, and just a great captain, and just always working.
Coach, other seniors, Colby Watkins, Trenton Smith, Jake Keller, it takes a whole team to win like you guys have won. Again, York Adams Division III championship, PIAA District III championship, the first since 1998. What a great group of seniors, Coach. I'm sure they'll be missed.
Oh, absolutely. That's the hard part about yesterday. It's not necessarily the loss. It's just the fact that that's the last time those boys will put on the Bermudian uniform and be around to, hang out at practice and screw around and laugh and, just work hard together. So the finality of sports is always, a hard reality. There's only one team in AAA that's happy at the end of the year, but our boys stuck together. Our boys were proud of the effort. And I know that they're going to continue playing different sports with a different team, but they'll always have the memories from this season.
Okay, often when you have an exceptional team like this, real heavy in seniors, people think, there goes the team. They're all graduating. But knowing with the kind of leadership that they've had and the kind of great coaching staff that you have, I bet you're already looking forward to reloading for next year.
Yeah, we're excited. we definitely have a lot of shoes to fill, but we're excited the commitment that the underclassmen have put in this year. We have a pretty significant freshman class that got to learn from the best and are already asking me to open the weight room as soon as possible. So it's excited to have that engagement. And then I think between the pieces we have in that junior class, I think we could still be competitive, and I'm excited to see how they commit and what we could do next year as well.
You know, Coach, I love what you do offensively, and then we'll let you go. You combine what I think the old-fashioned, what you think of Bermudian Springs, traditional football with a little bit of a wing tee, just run it at them, smash it down their mouth, but you spread it out when you need to. You have skilled players as well, and the ability to do that. It's like you stick a Tesla inside a tank body or something,
I love that description. My offensive coordinator, I hope he hears that. So one of the things we always try to do is put kids in the best position to succeed, and being a balanced set makes it really difficult for teams to defend us. Our defensive coordinator yells at the offensive side all the time that our offense would drive him crazy, and so we do a really good job of trying to make sure we set up a system that our kids can be successful at, and this group and the groups to come are kind of running it the whole time, and so by the time they get to the Friday nights, they're ready to go.
Coach John Livelsberger, the Bermudian Springs Eagles. Coach, congratulations on a great season. We appreciate you being with us on Go Long. Well done, well done, well done. We celebrate your success today, Coach.
Hey, thank you so much.
Alrighty. Coach John Livelsberg, Bermudian Springs Eagles. What a season they had. Alrighty. So we're moving on. The DeLone Catholic Squires matched up with the District 4 champions, the Muncie Indians, on Friday under the lights at Cedar Cliff High School in the state Class 1A quarterfinals. The McSherrystown boys featured the likes of senior star quarterback Zach Staub and powerful running back and senior Brandon Smith.
Muncie's workhorse running back Austin Johnson powered his way to 6 rushing touchdowns and 332 yards as Muncie knocked out DeLone 41-17 in the state quarterfinals. And just so you know, Austin Johnson will be carrying the skin for Oklahoma State next year on Saturday.
Wow, 332 yards. Dude, flat out running. He's also a state champion wrestler, I believe, as well. For DeLone quarterback Zach Staub completed 28 of 46 for 315 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Logan Ford, 11 catches for 122 yards, including a 50-yard catch and run in the second quarter and a 17-yard TD reception in the fourth. So congratulations to DeLone. Their season ends, but what a great season. Some statistics from that game. Brandon Smith, again, 8 carries for 25 yards. Levi Hollenstein, 5 carries for 24 yards. And then the passing game stopped, 28 for 46 and 315 yards. Receiving, Logan Ford, 11 receptions for 122. Brandon Smith, 6 receptions for 27 yards. Caden Hicks, 3 receptions for 50 yards. Chris Cole, 3 receptions for 30 yards. Brandon Clayball, 3 for 19. And Levi Hollenstein, 2 receptions for 67 yards. What a great season they had.
Absolutely. Congratulations to the DeLone Catholic Squires and their 12 seniors for a tremendous season. A District 3 1A championship, a state playoff win over Philadelphia's Belmont Charter last week. Wow.
That was a great
win.
What a season. Absolutely. Hey, we'll talk with Coach Sortman later on in the show.
Alrighty, and then let's go to high school ice hockey.
Ice hockey?
We're turning to the ice, yes.
Goodness.
Okay, in the CPIHL, Dallastown 8, Palmyra 3, and then Central York gives it back to Dallastown, Central York 6, Dallastown 2. Alrighty, let's go to also York College women's basketball. The York College women's basketball squad got back on the winning side, a 74-37 win over Penn College on Thursday evening. The Spartans now improved to 3-3 overall, and the Wildcats fell to 1-5. We had 3 outstanding performances from York area natives. Morgan Adams, a new Oxford graduate student in education. Last year she played at Messiah, but Thursday she ended up with a double-double, 19 points and 11 rebounds. Alrighty, at Messiah she averaged 16.5 points and 7 rebounds per game. She scored her 1,000th career point and was first team MAC All-Conference. also earning academic All-MAC honors, and she was the MAC Commonwealth Player of the Week twice.
Okay.
Another
Great addition for the Spartans. Right?
Absolutely. All right, and she's working on her master's in education there.
for her.
Alyssa Hocker, if you might remember Alyssa from her time that she was at York Suburban High School, she's a major in nursing, also working on her master's. She was a second team All-Commonwealth last year, and also a CSC academic district honors, and she had 10 double-doubles. But yesterday in that win, she ended up with, oh goodness, where I have it here. Okay, she was 5 for 9 from the floor, 2 for 5 from the 3 points. She had 14 points and 13 rebounds for her day at yesterday. And then Brianna Grimm, an undergraduate student from Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, so she played at Eastern. She's a junior in integrated marketing communications, and yesterday she had another double figures, 13 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals for them. She was the MAC Commonwealth Rookie of the Year last year, and first team MAC All Commonwealth Honors, and D3 Region Rookie of the Year, and another honor student. So not only are all 3 of these young women great basketball players, but there you have a great head on their shoulders too.
All right, Wednesday night in Glenside, the York College men's basketball team jumped out to an early lead and cruised from there as they downed Arcadia University by a score of 87-63. Spartans ripped off an early 13-2 run as they forged a 10-point lead 8 minutes into the game. The lead would not fall the remainder of the game as they snapped their 2-game losing streak. Now York is 2-2. Senior Kai Kapala from Warwick in the LL League notched a double-double with the win. He had 26 points, 10 boards. Wow. The Spartans now will take on, they're off now to December 4th. They're going to head to Dickinson College to face the Red Devils in that annual non-conference tip-off from Klein Life Center in Dickensburg will be at 8 p.m. Penn State York men's basketball. They played Friday and Saturday. 2 losses, 2 close games too. Penn State York men lost to Penn State Fayette 66-63 on Friday, and then Penn State Beaver by a score of 89-85 in overtime yesterday afternoon. York High's Marquise McLean had 13 points on Friday, and then he had 18 points on Saturday. He's a 6'3 senior from York High, Marquise McLean, playing for the York High, or I'm playing for the Penn State York men's basketball team.
All right, and the Penn State women's basketball team also had 2 games over the weekend. On Friday, they beat Penn State Fayette 62-45. Olivia Sell, a freshman from Southwestern High School, scored 10 points, as well as Abigail McAlexander, a sophomore from Eastern High School, who also scored 10 points. And then on Saturday, they had a loss to Penn State Beaver, 87-62. In that game, Olivia Sell had 5 points, and Abigail McAllister had 4 points.
All right, a game I'm sure you were watching yesterday. Penn State, the Nittany Lions over Minnesota Golden Gophers, 26-25. Central York's Bo Perbola, 1 carry for 4 yards in that game. The Pitt Panthers dropped to 7-4 as they fall to Louisville. They were hammered 37-9. Dallas Town's Kenny Johnson, 2 receptions for 25 yards in that game. He also had 2 kick returns for 46 yards, did Kenny Johnson. Check this out, though. You ready? U.S. Golf from Central York had 1 reception or 1 carry for 7 yards. 1 reception for 7 yards yesterday. Is now he's starting to get some playing time as a freshman for those Pitt Panthers.
You know, that's stepping in when you're a freshman in that kind of a conference.
You know, the dude can just play football, right?
Yes, he can.
Okay, West Virginia, the Mountaineers over University of Central Florida by a score of 31-21. Jaheim White from York, 12 carries for 54 yards as he averaged 4.5 yards a carry to Jaheim White for West Virginia. Then yesterday, the PSAC, well featured in the NCAA Division II championship brackets as they kick off 16 teams playing for the Division II championship. Yesterday, it was Slippery Rock, who's 4th seeded with a 14-7 win over New Haven, New Oxford. Braden Long, as he has all season, all his career, was 21 for 34, 270 passing yards, and 1 touchdown. And guess what? We always say it. He didn't turn it over either. Also playing for the Slippery Rock team, Savion Harrison, who's a 5'10", 180 defensive back from York Suburban.
Yeah, you may remember him from high school. He was a four-year letterman in football and track at Suburban. He finished with 3,666 rushing yards and 34 touchdowns. He was also an all-state performer at both cornerback and running back. He was the York County Offensive Player of the Year as a senior, and he led York Suburban to that perfect 10-0 record as a senior. Plus, the important part, too, he was an honor roll student.
Yeah. Also playing for Slippery Rock from the York Adams League, Joe Cooper, who's a 6'7", 300-pound offensive lineman from Bermudian Springs. Joe Cooper.
You know what? He's a big guy, isn't he?
He is. 6'7", 310. Wow.
Absolutely. But he also,
Junior. Go ahead.
Yep, he also earned all PSAC West honors last year as a left tackle. Now, I noticed he was playing right tackle.
Okay.
Yeah, so tell me, is there a big difference between right and left tackle as far as what you have to do when you switch?
Well, you remember the show The Blind Side?
I remember it.
Well, that's what it's about. Most quarterbacks right-handed, not all, but most quarterbacks right-handed. So the left tackle protects the blind side of the quarterback. There you
so
go.
He had to step up. Okay, got it. Okay.
Alrighty. Also yesterday, California of Pennsylvania over East Stroudsburg in the final 16 by a score of 30-27. Again, York Adams players well represented. Senior from Eastern York, DeMonte Martin is on that team for the season. He's had 5 receptions for 56 yards. Also, Dallastown's sophomore Isaac Gutierrez, a freshman from Central York, Dominic Grove, and also another freshman from Central York, Ethan Carluce, all playing for that California team that has advanced to the Final 8 in Division II. East Stroudsburg, who lost that game, is well represented as well. Johnny Walker from Central York, Trenton Dunnick from Central York, Lucas Skelly from Dallastown is a 6'2", 280-pound graduate student.
You know what? And he was just named second team PSAC as well.
Well done, Lucas Skelly. Raymond Christus, who is a 6'2", 290-pound graduate student from Dallastown, is a center on that team.
And you know what? He's a 2-time captain for that team. He was all PSAC East last year. This year, he's all PSAC first team.
Wow.
Like I said, and 2-time CSC as well.
Alrighty, well done. Also on that team from Hanover, Joey Wilkinson is a freshman.
And if you remember Joey playing from Hanover, he was nominated for Mr. PA football. He was an all-state first team and 2-time team captain when he played at Hanover.
Alrighty, well done. Kutztown, I got to tell you this. Kutztown's in the Final 8 in Division II. They are 11-0. They're going to match up with Slippery Rock this week. Again, from the York Adams League, playing for them, McKay Gray, who's a freshman from York High, and also 6'2", 285-pound center Trey Quinones from York High is playing for this Kutztown team that is unbeaten so far.
We have a lot of big guys coming out of York County. It must be the good food here in York County anyway. But anyway, and also just the strength that these young men bring to the game. But anyway, if you look at Trey, he is a senior CSC academic all-district team member, which, tells me a whole lot. He's been on the dean's list all through college, which I think, he does great things physically, but he really shines mentally too.
So Kutztown in the Final 8 going to match up with Slippery Rock. In fact, that's going to be a fun matchup. I had to look. How many NFL players from Kutztown? Well, there's 8 of them, and I'm just going to mention a few of them. Doug Dennison played at McCaskey. You remember him, 5-year career at Dallas as a running back. Bryce Harper played 8 years as a running back, wide receiver for the Jets. John Mulby from Chester played 8 years for Denver. And here's a name you all recognize, Andre Reed from Allentown. 15 years in the NFL for Buffalo, 1 year at Washington. Andre Reed played for Kutztown, played in 7 Pro Bowls. One other thing, Becky, I know you got some field hockey stuff to talk about. Yesterday, the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, this is Lehigh University, beat the Lafayette Leopards 38-14.
Well, that's always been a rivalry.
Well, here's why I mention it. So Lehigh Patriot League title, but here's why I mention it. The 160th time they played each other. It is college football College football's most played rivalry played yesterday here in Pennsylvania as the Lehigh Mountain Hawks beat Lafayette Leopards 38-14, the 160th time they played each other.
That is a long
Isn't that
time,
great?
and it's been a rivalry out there in that area too.
Yep.
All right, well, let's go back to the PSAC because we have to talk about the Kutztown field hockey team. November 22nd in Gaffey, South Carolina, the third-ranked Kutztown Golden Bears topped the number 1 ranked Shippensburg 4-3. During the regular season game, Shippensburg won both contests, but Kutztown scored 2 goals in both quarters of the first half to lead 4-2 at the half. Ship added a goal in the fourth quarter. Okay, but Kutztown outplays Shippensburg. Now, today, Kutztown plays for the National Division II Championship against St. Alcim. St. Alcim beat another PSAC team, East Stroudsburg, 3-0 in the other semifinal. Now, for Kutztown, junior Grace Harrell out of Central York High School is a midfielder, business administration major, and she assisted on that third goal of the game. But for Shippensburg, junior forward from Dallastown, Lily Cantabine, scored the second goal for Shippensburg. So York County was well represented there. And looking at some other York County representatives, Messiah volleyball team they ended their season November 21st in the Elite 8 in Cambridge, Massachusetts, when they were beaten by University of Laverne. And freshman Mackenzie Adams, an outside hitter from New Oxford, got lots of playing time for Messiah, was quite an important member. She was named MAC Commonwealth Rookie of the Year for that. November 17th, Messiah, we're switching gears a little bit here. Field hockey, back to field hockey. They ended their season in the Elite 8 after a 2-1 loss to Williams. And Ashley Lobach Montessori is the assistant coach there. You might remember Ashley from Southwestern High School. So
well done.
Congratulations to all of those York County natives.
Isn't it great to celebrate the accomplishments of all these local athletes here on Go Long? But it is. It's time to go long. And today our topic is, what does the Bible say about how we treat others? I think we talk about this a lot, Becky B. And
yes,
it's on. You see it on TV, in the news, and you probably see it in the grocery store. It's just I think people's language more and more, and our actions are hurtful to others, right? And maybe we just say stuff without thinking.
That may be true. I think what really, really bothers me a lot sometimes is some of the role models that we have use, negative language as a way to get news headlines or whatever. We are bombarded by it.
With it. And, I think the Bible is really clear. I think the Bible teaches us to be concerned about the needs and feelings of others, and even more so than our own. And I know firsthand, just by coaching young people, that hurtful words just linger, and it just, one hurtful word may take weeks or months or maybe never to get overcome, right?
I took a course one time in child psychology a long time ago, but I remember this statistic that it takes 8 positive statements to undo one negative statement, and always to lead with the positive.
No, that's right. So a couple Bible verses here as we think about it, and maybe with Thanksgiving coming up, and we're going to get with family and friends. Maybe let's think about our words, right? And our
absolutely.
Right? From the book of
Put
Proverbs.
some more turkey in your mouth instead of saying something hurtful,
like
right?
Stuff it. Right.
Yeah.
So Proverbs chapter 12, verse 18. From the New International Version. The words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. So my friends, today, ask yourself, would you rather be reckless or would you rather be wise, right? Would your words rather pierce like swords, or would you rather your words bring healings?
Well, the Bible also tells us that we need to confront people who are doing things that are not following the right way of God, but to do it in a loving way.
Okay.
Not to do it in a way that slices them.
I'll read from the book of John, chapter 8, verse 7. He who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. Well, that certainly
that would not be me.
Well, no,
that
gives us right. That tells us right there how we should treat others. And then from the book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 5. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus. So, my friends, that's our prayer today, and that's our challenge today is make your words be wise, not reckless. Make your words bring healing to others, not pierce like swords. And then we have the relationships with others, and all the relationships that we have with others have the same mindset as Christ or Jesus. And it's not easy, is it, Becky B? I got to pray about it every day.
No, it is not easy. But, when I think about it, and I think about that warm, fuzzy feeling I get when somebody says something to me in love or, in kindness, and then, that feeling that, and rightfully so, I need to be put in my place sometimes, so rightfully so that there are times that I need that constructive criticism and so forth. But there have been times that people have done it in such a loving way that it sticks with me much more, and I think that I have more respect for that criticism than I do when somebody just kind of slanders you.
Right. Okay, well, thank you, Becky B. Now, my friends, a quick announcement. On December 5th and 6th at Susquehannock High School, the boys basketball program, we will be hosting a Beautiful Lives Project Court of Dreams event. So we encourage children and adults with disabilities to join our players and coaches on the court to learn basketball fundamentals and run through drills. You may register for this event still at www.beautifullives.org/events, www.beautifullives.org/events. Just Google Beautiful Lives, and you will find this event at Susquehannock High School. So, my friends, if you know children and adults with disabilities, please encourage them to participate in this event. And then on Friday, Susquehannock's game versus Governor Mifflin, these children and adults with disabilities will serve as honorary captains for that game. So a great event coming up, right?
Looking forward to seeing it.
Yep. Alrighty, my friends, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got the splendid Spartan himself, Scott Geis, with the York College Winter Sports Preview right after this.
Hey WYK listeners, Daryl Henry here with Kelsey McCullough, Kylie Taylor, the owners of Red Barn Home Decors. Kelsey, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
So Kylie and I bring in our furniture and decor to either a vacant or occupied home, and we allow buyers to create emotional connections with the home by envisioning their family in that space. Doing that allows the buyer to get top dollar for their listing and also sell it in the fastest amount of time.
Kylie, tell us about the benefits of Red Barn in particular.
Home staging is very important in the selling process. It really makes sure that your home sells in the quickest amount of time and for the top dollar. Some of our statistics here are homes sell in an average of 4.5 days and for over 16,000 over asking.
Kelsey, how would folks get in touch with Red Barn?
Please feel free to check out our portfolio at www.redbarnhomedecors.com. You can also check out our social media pages at Red Barn Home Decors or give us a call at 717-818-1207.
Red Barn Home Decors. Staging makes dollars and cents.
This is Merrill Reese.
He's at the 5. He's in. Touchdown. The Eagles win. Hurts does it again.
Oh, my God.
Hurts does it again.
Are you kidding me? Join Mike Wick and me for Eagles football on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
Presented by WellSpan Health.
And the kick is...
Goal!
And the Eagles win.
First in York. First in sports.
And welcome back to Go Long. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B. And with us on the phone right now, the splendid Spartan himself with your college sports, Scott Geis. Thank you so much for being with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Wayne. Thanks for having me.
First of all, Scott, today our Go Long topic was how we talk and treat others. And I just want to tell you this. There is not a person that I've met that is as kind a person as you are to everybody you meet. And so when you think of that, I think of Scott Geis.
Wow, thank you. I do think that that's a lesson that we all could get a little better at. That's for sure. I think there's times when, even in the heat of competition, we could be a little bit nicer to people. There's no doubt about that.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Scott, first of all, I mentioned that because you go to Facebook, you go to Instagram, and Scott Geis, I mean, you know, just the people that love you and look up to you. So I also want to do a health checkup on here. Tell us how you're doing, because so many people just want to know how you're doing, Scott.
Sure. So I'm doing okay. Actually got some news the other day. I had a scan. I was doing a clinical trial, and that clinical trial didn't work as well as we hoped. So I'm going to go back on and start doing some chemo. I feel really good, which I feel very blessed about. And so it was a little disappointing, but it was something that we had to try, and just maybe didn't work out as well as we hoped. That's okay. I still feel really good. So I'll start chemo in January, and kind of, we've been down that road before. It's worked for us, so hopefully we can keep that will come back and help help take some of that stuff away. And but I'm doing good. I feel really good. In a good place mentally and emotionally. So just you got to keep one day at a time. I tell everybody, when my feet hit the floor in the morning, I'm incredibly thankful because every day is one day more than any of us are promised, right? So I'm just that's kind of how I take a look at it, and it's going to be a good day when I get out of bed, and hey, so far today it's a pretty good day.
Well, Scott, we all pray for you and your health, and what a great and tremendous impact you've had on others, and we celebrate everything about Scott Geist. So thank you, Scott. Let's, what a tremendous fall season at your college for the athletic programs. Do you want to give us just a quick, back up for a second and tell us all about it?
Sure. No, we had a field hockey team that went to the NCAA tournament, won a school record 17 games, won their first MAC Commonwealth Championship, which was a huge deal considering the schedule we played this year and the fact that we lost 5 really, really good players last year. But Coach Katie Foss did what I think was her best coaching job this year, able to get a win over Messiah at Messiah in the championship game, and then advanced to the Sweet 16 for the third year in a row, won 17 games. The 17 games breaks the school record, and this was the winningest senior class in school history in field hockey. So they had just an amazing year. It was so much fun to watch. Such a great group of kids. Men's soccer went 14-2-5 after going, an 8-game improvement over last year, and was really a lot of fun to watch. We have a very low senior class that is going to be graduating, but those guys really stepped up and played well. Women's soccer, another 12-win season. They advanced to the MAC Commonwealth Championship game, as did the men. So, when you're playing for championships, even if you don't win them, when you're playing for them, you know that you've had a good year, and certainly it was a really good year. And volleyball also made it to the MAC Commonwealth semifinals. So it was a really good fall. It was a lot of fun. I like to tell people we have really good kids, which makes it even better. We have kids that really go out there and compete and play hard and are kind of blue collar and really good students, just kind of the entire package. And I think it's a testament to watch our kids compete and perform on a regular basis is something that I know Derek and I both feel that we're incredibly lucky to get to cover all of our teams, and it's been a lot of fun.
All right, well, let's look ahead to the winter then. Tell us a little bit about the women's basketball team.
So the women have gotten off to a 3-3 start. I think they probably would have liked it to be a little bit better than this. However, we got a transfer in from Messiah, Morgan Adams, who, first team all-conference player up there, really, really good player, and kind of just acclimating ourselves to playing with her within the offense. One thing I've said about Coach Whitman is when we get a big, we usually have a really good season because she's so great at integrating posts into our offense and being able to get a lot out of her. And that's happening. We had some injuries at the beginning of the year that kind of hampered us a little bit in terms of people getting back in the flow and playing together. Bree Grimm, who was the Rookie of the Year last year in the league, missed the first month of practice and then came back and then got hurt again. And now she's back full go, but you can tell when somebody's missed that month of preseason, and she's kind of just getting back into it. So they've been good. They've had some really good games or performances where we look great, and some performances where we struggle offensively. One of the things I think that has hurt us early in the year is there are times when it's just not clicking and the ball gets stuck a little bit, and I think that has been kind of the problem so far. But the good news is we played a lot better the other night, and we're looking better. So this team, it's picked number 1 to win. They're picked to win the league this year. We got some time before conference play starts, and I would be stunned if we don't continue each and every game to get a little bit better. So I would look for some good things in December, and then hopefully some really good things in January.
And Scott, you're so right that preseason time is so important to get into the rhythm of the team. And, it sounds like they're starting to get that rhythm now, that they're starting to look a little bit better as they go along. So.
Yeah, and there's no question about that. And Bree's a really big part of what we're doing. And, Alyssa Hawker came back for her grad year. She's a huge part of it. She was an all-conference player last year. So just the idea of getting everybody together, we have some new pieces that, obviously Morgan, but there's a couple other kids that have come in and, I think are going to play a little bit for us. So, it's just a matter of kind of getting everybody to feel comfortable and everybody kind of playing together. And I think, some people being banged up early on was one of those things that I don't want to say set us back, but certainly delayed maybe some of the things that we hope to have happened by now.
Well, Scott, help me get my arms around the graduate student players. What makes, I'm still old school where I'm thinking you go to college 4 years and, you play 4 years. Help me get my arms around that.
This is the last COVID year. So basically kids, we have a men's player, Chris Myers, who is a fifth-year kid who decided to use basically that year of COVID, which is 2020 and 21. We did not play. There was a blanket waiver that allowed student athletes, if they wanted to, an extra, I say extra, but basically that year of eligibility that they didn't play. So there are some kids that, this is the last year for it in terms of kids who were in school when COVID hit. So they're going to have the opportunity to be able to play another year, which is what Morgan is doing. That's what Alyssa's doing. And that's what Chris Myers is doing. So that, gave them the opportunity and the choice to be able to come back and play, and actually play a fourth year instead of, everybody thinks, grad year, it's a fifth year. Well, technically it is a fifth year in school, but it's not a fifth year of playing. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And then the spring, it gets a little bit more complicated because their season was canceled. Some of those kids actually have 2 years, or some of those kids got 2 years. So the spring is really a mess. It's kind of funny. Like we have a goalkeeper, a women's lacrosse goalkeeper is coming back, and it's going to be her 6th year. Yeah. So it's like, oh my goodness. I would get sick. I think I'd be sick of school. But, it's been fun, and it's when you have great kids, it's great to have them to stick around, and certainly that's been the case. Obviously Morgan is new to York, but having Chris and Alyssa back is pretty cool.
All right. Well, I want everyone to listen carefully, because if you're a parent or grandparent or aunt or uncle of a young basketball player, a girl basketball player, and you want to see great fundamental coaching, you want to go see the York College Women's Spartans team play. Coach Whitman fundamentally plays great defense. Her teams are always great defensive teams. They move the ball well. They're just good fundamental teams. She's a great fundamental coach and fun to watch. So I encourage you to get out and watch these women's teams play.
And not to mention, she's a York County native.
Oh, true.
She is. So actually, I'd be remiss of saying her dad, Ron, passed away end of October. Yeah. And that's been, that we actually renamed our Coaches versus Cancer tournament in his honor. So it's been a tough start to the season for Coach, but she's doing well. And to deal with that, her and her dad were incredibly close, and Ron was at all of our games. And back in the day when he was a little bit younger, he used to travel, and so we're certainly missing him. We've kind of saved a spot for him up on press row where he used to sit. So, he was a wonderful man and somebody who we all miss. But when you're missing your dad, it's I think that's played a little bit of a role in us getting off to a little bit slower start than what we hoped.
Yep, I would think so too. And here's the other thing. I talk to our basketball team, our players, our young men about taking every possession. You got to play hard. You got to compete every possession. And I mention that because we're moving on to men's basketball. When you talk about what I believe Coach Hunter's signature is, those guys play hard every possession.
Well, we've really done a good job of defending. One of the things he said to me, I think like 2 or 3 days ago, he goes, "We're doing a great job of really getting after people defensively." Right now they're 2-2. They played, lost to Hopkins, who's a really, nationally ranked, going to be a nationally ranked team. Gettysburg, who's going to be a nationally ranked team, lost to Gettysburg. Actually, it was rough. We just stopped scoring late in the game, and then Gettysburg was able to get us 67-65 in overtime. So, but bounced back with a big win over Arcadia. Our schedule's really tough, and that's one of the things that Coach Hunter does. His idea is that, hey, if we're not going to win the league, we want to put ourselves in position to try and get an at-large bid with the quality of our schedule. So, 2-2 is not bad at all considering where we're sitting. We've got to get a little better offensively, and really, not only when I say get a little better offensively, not rely on Kai Sapala for everything.
Right.
Because Kai has been unbelievable. He's averaging like 24 points. He's been just absolutely fantastic for us. But we got to get him some help. And I think we certainly have the ability, and the guys who have the ability to step up. We put the other night, Wednesday night at Arcadia, we put 4 guys in double figures, and Kai had 26. So that's the kind of performance we need to have. We need to have more guys stepping up and getting double figures and really kind of taking some of the pressure off Kai to be able to just kind of let him do his thing, but also have some guys step up and make us a little bit more dangerous offensively, which I think we really need to do to be as good as what we think we can be.
Alrighty, well, let's move on to wrestling. And you talk about a difficult schedule. I mean, these wrestlers, the York College wrestling team, they're not afraid to match up with anybody.
And I'll tell you what's really difficult, to wrestle at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Alrighty, that was
Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, they were able to. The guys are 1-1 right now. They actually picked up a win yesterday at McDaniel, 25-23. That was Coach Bastra's 100th career dual win, which is pretty awesome, and we're very thankful for him to be able to pick that up. He's done such a tremendous individual wrestler for us as a wrestler, and now as a coach does a really good job with our kids. And you talk about somebody who's a great teacher of the sport. That's him. He's been absolutely fantastic. So some hopes. We're going to be really young this year, and I think that's good for us. I think it's good for some fresh blood to come in and really contribute and do a good job. So far so good. The guys have been good. We host our big New Standard Invitational tournament. That's December 6th at 3:30, and then December 7th at 10 a.m. and December 7th is an all-day. That's an all-day thing. So if you want to come over and watch men, watch women, you get the opportunity to do that on that Saturday. So we're excited about hosting that again, and it's something that we've had. We draw a lot of the teams, a lot of really, really good nationally ranked teams from all over the Mid-Atlantic and up into New England and down into the Carolinas. So it's usually a great event for people to attend. So we have some high hopes for what we can do, and I think that when you at the end of the day you look at it, you want to kind of be gearing up towards the end of the year and being good. And I think that by that time a lot of our young guys are going to be pretty good and give us a chance to compete for not only a conference championship, but then have a really good showing at the regionals, which is at the end of February.
All right, the splendid Spartan himself, Dog Scott Geis. My goodness, Scott, thank you so much for being with us. You're going to be in our thoughts and prayers. I look forward to catching you at the York College Gymnasium here in the near future. I'm going to come watch these men play and women play coming up here in the next week or so. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Go Long, Scott.
You got it, Wayne. Anytime you guys want to come out, you just let me know.
All righty, we'll do. All right, the splendid Spartan, Scott Geis with the York College Spartan Sports preview for the winter sports and the follow-up for fall sports. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got Corey Zortman from DeLone Catholic. The Squires, what a great season they had, right?
They sure did.
All right, friends,
yes, district champs.
Yes, we'll be right back after this message.
Hey WOIK listeners, Daryl Henry here with Kelsey McCullough, Kylie Taylor, the owners of Red Barn Home Decors. Kelsey, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
So Kylie and I bring in our furniture and decor to either a vacant or occupied home, and we allow buyers to create emotional connections with the home by envisioning their family in that space. Doing that allows the buyer to get top dollar for their listing and also sell it in the fastest amount of time.
Kylie, tell us about the benefits of Red Barn in particular.
Home staging is very important in the selling process. It really makes sure that your home sells in the quickest amount of time and for the top dollar. Some of our statistics here are home sell in an average of 4.5 days and for over 16,000 over asking.
Kelsey, how would folks get in touch with Red Barn?
Please feel free to check out our portfolio at www.redbarnhomedecors.com. You can also check out our social media pages at Red Barn Home Decors or give us a call at 717-818-1207.
Red Barn Home Decors. Staging makes dollars and cents.
This is Merrill Reese.
He fires into the end zone, and it is caught! Touchdown!
Catch the Eagles all season right here on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
He's back. Reddick's got him again! Another sack for Reddick down to the 10-yard line.
Philadelphia Eagles football, presented by WellSpan Health.
Cuts back. He's in. Touchdown! DeAndre Swift.
First in York, first in sports.
And welcome back to Go Long. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B. Thank you so much for being with us here on Go Long. My friends, I gotta tell you this, that we appreciate so much our time together every Sunday morning as we celebrate the accomplishments of our local athletes and coaches and other sports figures, and we do it in a faith-based way. And so I mentioned that. So anytime you have any prayer requests or anything we can do for you, please text us at 717-350-8591. We just value so much that time together. And today, we were just going through a list of these York Adams League athletes that are playing Division I, Division II, Division III sports. I mean, it just went on and on and on. Incredible. The list of the athletes that we mentioned from their accomplishments, and not just from an athletic standpoint, but so many of them honor roll students. We mentioned, for example, Savion Harrison from York Suburban, who's an honor roll student, and just on and on and on. So congratulations to all these folks. And now we're going to move on to it's just another celebration as we celebrate the DeGlone Catholic Squires. And what a great season they had, as they are district champions, single A, move on to the state play. With us right now is their coach, Corey Zortman. So, Coach, thanks for being with us on Go Long.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Coach, first of all, what a wonderful season. Can you recap it for us? Can you break it down?
Yeah, for sure. Been coaching for a long time. It's a process and a journey where you start off. It's really starts in June. Trying to put all the pieces together, and when you have a smaller roster like we do, a lot of times we mix and match and move positions around. And so we graduated a good senior class last year. So we knew we had a good nucleus, just weren't sure of the holes we had to fill. But as the season went on, we had really good senior leadership, which was really our foundation this year that allowed us to, go through the highs and lows of a season. We had a mid-year tough loss to Bermudian Springs, and really at that point of the season, we challenged our guys on what path we wanted to take from there on out. And really from there, it was a drastic decision to make the best of the remaining weeks that we had together, and we just got better and better, and our confidence grew. And before we know it, we're nearing the end of the season, and we knew we had this championship ahead of us, and our kids just stayed focused and really wanted to accomplish their goals. There's such a finality to it when you're a senior. Realizing, football is a very different sport. Like, you can play basketball, pick up games at the Y, you can play softball. But when you're done football, there really isn't much more you can do outside of high school. So, so we always talk about the end game and make sure they understand that there is a final game for everyone. And we always, I say it every day, football is just a game. And it really is. It's just a game. But what's important now? And take advantage of your opportunities when they're presented to you. And boy, did our kids do that this year.
Well, you can't be too upset about losing to Bermudian, though. You lost to another District 3 team, you know?
That's right. That's right. And believe it or not, I coached Coach Lavelsberger it was like my first year of coaching in '95. So he and I have a good relationship. And they were a good football team coming into the season. I think everyone knew that they were going to be the favorite coming in because they returned so many talented seniors. So, but still, it's tough for kids to have the disappointment of a big game loss. And it's really reflective on the type of kids that we've had to continue to turn things around, to take a negative and turn it into a positive. And that's really why we coach, right? I mean, Sure, everybody loves the game, wants to win, but we always approach it as a representative of life experiences. How do you respond to the highs and lows of life? And the game is so similar to what life can bring. And that's what, to be honest with you, when I look at the season, all the accomplishments we've had, what I'm most proud of is how my kids conducted themselves and how they treated one another and how they responded to the tough parts of the season and when things didn't go our way. I think it shows the character of your team and really your leadership.
Well, I think the game, to me, Coach, it shows just the toughness, the camaraderie of your team is to go down and beat Philadelphia's Belmont Charter in that first state playoff win. Just facing just a tough opponent, but with a lot of adversity as well, and you get out there, you get out of town as a winner, right?
Yeah, I mean that was when you look back. All the things that happened through the week to lead up to that day. We first got their film, and that's football's such a process, a weekly process. You get the film, you put together a game plan, you spend quite a few hours each weekend putting together offense, defense, special teams, and things like that. But we knew that they had a really good football team, and their schedule specifically that they were playing 4, 5, and 6A teams.
Wow.
The competition that they were playing, even though they were single A school, was really good. And so we knew we were up against it from a speed and size, which we've kind of been at a lot of games this year. But we felt if we executed and didn't turn the ball over and put ourselves in a position that we could keep it close, don't give up the big plays, we had an opportunity. Well, we go to their district to play the game, and some of the adversity that I've never seen before in all the years I've coached. We're out warming up, and we're coming back in for the pregame speeches like we always do, and there were no officials.
No officials, right?
Yeah,
it's hard to believe.
And come to find out that they never even scheduled the officials.
Incredible, yeah.
So they had to make frantic calls to try to find the amount of officials we needed to run the game. They were actually running down the street. They were they found 6 officials that were doing a Mighty Mites type game together. So they were done.
Well, I thought they got them out. I thought they were eating subs or something somewhere, right? Right.
Yeah.
Some cheesesteaks.
So they pushed our game back an hour, and then we were getting ready to start or get to that 2:00 time, and they pushed us back another 15 minutes. Well,
right.
They eventually showed. Then we're getting ready to go onto the field, and they realized they had no one to run the clock.
Oh, no. Oh, my.
They got somebody to run the clock, and then right after that, they realized they had no one to hold the chains.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so it was quite an experience, and it was it was tough throughout the game because they ended up taking the clock away to shut it down, so all the time was kept on an official's watch. The goalpost was bent far to the left, and wouldn't you know it, we joked about it prior to the game when we pulled in, hope we don't have to kick a game-winning field goal with that goalpost.
Alrighty. Well,
we
Coach,
were 18 seconds away and one play away from having to try it.
Right. All right, Coach. Well, I'm going to have to cut.
We were able to get the touchdown to ice it. But,
all right. Good job. I'm going to have to cut you off, Coach. I apologize, but listen. Today we celebrate Coach Corey Zortman, the Lone Catholic, what a district champions. Coach, thank you so much for being with us. We're going to get you back on. These stories are great. I love it. It's good stuff. So thank you. Congratulations, Coach. Yep. Congratulations, Coach. All righty. Thank you. Yep. Take care. Bye-bye. Alrighty, Becky B. Today we pray for everyone as we approach Thanksgiving, right, Becky B? You got a 10-second prayer.
Thank you, Lord, for all our many blessings, and we just praise you and thank you for that.
Alrighty, so my friends, for Becky B. and myself, thank you so much for joining us on Go Long every Sunday morning. Again, please text your prayer request to us at 717-350-8591. God bless you and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.